Hello, universe. How are we doing? We good? We're having fun? I hope so. I'm entirely and utterly unprepared to do anything practical or useful at the moment because I'm just rubbish at life. I went out today. I ate. Oh, there we go. Now, as we learnt last time, we need to pop the chat out of here because this doesn't work properly. Pop out chat. There we go. Let's bring that over here where I can see it nicely. I can currently hear myself from the channel. That's a little bit weird, but we'll just keep on going. We'll ignore that. We'll shrink this a little bit so that we can clearly see the chat and see how we managed to miss the chat this time. That's kind of what we'll be wondering. How will we miss the chat this time? Now let's mute that. Mute. There we go. Very good. As my house companion likes to say, mute the tab, not the player. Well, I'm sure that doesn't work. Anyway. I'm not ready for anything. I was sat down reading Loveless, trying to get to the end. I got up to like 89% finished. So, oh well. But yesterday I was playing Star Trek. It's one of the reasons why I didn't do any streaming yesterday. I wanted to read more of all the books, you see. And I didn't, because as I've already said, the reason why I do the streaming is so that I don't procrastinate. But which meant, of course, whilst reading the material that I was reading yesterday, I read about a tenth of the stuff that I was supposed to. Ah well, the game worked. It was fun. We did Star Trek stuff. The first of the adventures in the little book, the Star Trek Adventures first scenarios book. So I wanted to do some of that before I kind of went headlong into some of the Shackleton Expanse stuff. A little bit hand wavy, but we got there, and it was fine. It was fine, I think. Anyway, we're going to see if this party can survive the Den of Iniquity? No, the Dungeon of Terror. Was that it? I think that's where we are. We're in the Dungeon of Terror. It has been quite a problem because I seem to remember one of us has been stolen by a doppelganger, and the party's entirely unaware of this fact, which is a problem. And we just finished off killing a bunch of berserkers. But whilst I've got all these, so this is like a GM guide for Dungeons and Dragons. It's not Dungeons and Dragons. Clearly not Dungeons and Dragons. You see, clearly not. Star Trek. This is quite cool. Quite a nice little book. Though I would say, maybe for my aging eyes, the font feels a bit tight. Bit tight together, that one. But, you know, it's good. It's good. Main rulebook, of course. I've had that for ages. I bought that when like Discovery came out, or maybe Picard, and I was really excited. More fool me, eh? More fool me. One thing I've been wondering is whether or not I can up the size of my stream to be a bigger space, but as you can tell, I've not set about trying to set that up or anything. So here, so I also got the Alpha Quadrant book. This is quite cool. Nice wee book. I can't get the Beta Quadrant book at the moment. Well, at least not from the company that I was buying them from, which is Dungeonland. I think that's the name of it. Which is a London seller. But they didn't have a copy of the Beta Quadrant book. I can't be bothered with the Delta Quadrant book because I don't care. But this takes us through to 71 and to when the Klingon, the new Klingon war starts, right? So that's cool. But I don't need it for much of a Shackleton Expanse stuff, because Shackleton Expanse is in a beta quadrant. This, of course, is a Shackleton Expanse book. We all know that I have this. I think we do anyway. And some of this I'm thinking about, because later on I'm going to be doing some stuff around thinking about, what's it called? Captain's Log. And I think this will be something I think about Gamma Quadrant, because I'm going to want to do some stuff with a Dominion. So that'll be fun. Yeah, so Dominion, cool. The Gamma Quadrant book is mostly about the Dominion War. What have we got here? Oh, right, the Dune book. Yeah. Here be the Dune book. So, but the Dune second movie is being postponed till March. So, the need that I had to figure out how to run this has been reduced somewhat. So I might start playing a solo Dune adventure in the run-up. Probably just after Christmas, I might start this. I've not really looked at the book yet. It's quite nice. From what I just flipped through here, quite a nice book. I like a nice book. I presume it's the same 2D20 system that Modiphius uses for everything else. I don't know what it's called. Modiphius. We'll just go with Modiphius for now. What is it? Kate. Something else that we need to do at some point, I suppose, is do some werewolf. I'm sure I mentioned that a lot. Probably start that. Maybe do something on that like Wednesday afternoon or something. We'll see. We're playing Lancer, I think, on Wednesday. So. Yeah. Does it look like it is? Yeah, so 2 sets. I presume it's that plus that 2d20 roll under, right? I presume. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. And I've got a whole bunch of other books coming for Star Trek as well. Because I'm into it at the moment. Yeah, I think Strange New Worlds has revitalized my Star Trek-ness. Let's get some bits and pieces out of the way for a moment. Don't need that. Plugged in there. Yeah. Charge. Because again, I've mentioned this before, but these keyboards, these Logitech keyboards and their silly flashing lights. No battery life in them, I tell you. I liked it when you used to be able to get... Because it used to be that your keyboard batteries would last forever. But your it's not square. I thought it was square. It's clearly not square. By the fact that, look, it's not square. There we go. That'll do. For slime on slime violence. Let's grab this lot. But yeah, I hope all you wonderful little humans are doing well. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. And in this case, oh no. Tell you what I've not done. Not turned on this little light. Do I need to turn on a little light? Probably. Let's have a look. Yeah. Here we go. Turn that on. That's a little bit less gloomy. Now, of course, what's the next thing? We need the old foundry. Foundry, where are you, foundry? You're over here. I don't want any of these. How about I just open this up on its own? Well, first of all, right. Is that the right one that it's showing? I think it is. I think it is. There we go. Shrinky, shrinky, shrinky. That's it. There we go. And not Captain's Log, OSE General. There we go. So I don't think this party is going to manage to survive very long. But let's go. We've got, which is annoying because I'm just starting to remember most of their names properly. So we've got Emiliana, we've got Somerhild. That's a bad guy. That's for Cutie Face for second. We've got Ahti, who is a doppelganger, but no one knows. Naseefa, Antheia, and last but not least, Tegen. Then we've got bad guys, bad peoples, all the bad peoples, many a bad peoples. Or maybe they're not bad. Well, this is something else that we should do. I think maybe this will be the next fantasy theme that we do. Maybe maybe something that twists the foundations around a bit, right? You know, something where the surface world people are the bad guys, right? That could be interesting. Maybe sacrifice? Anyway, we'll see. So, party, map, adventure, monster list. Okay. Oh, and audio at last. See, you've been musicless for... Okay, if I got a better track on here. This is for rustic list. Suspense dungeon. Oh, let's have a check out of this one, eh? Let's give it a go. Cave of the Crystal Serpent. Dark dungeon. That seems about right for this particular location. Right. Dark dungeon it is. So we just cleared out 10. So, what turn are we on? Show turn count. Turn 23, turn since last rested 5, so we need to start with a rest. And that'll sacrifice another round of torches. We're on, what, 4 sets of torches so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 wizards are carrying the torches. The 2 useless wizards are carrying the torches. And we got a magical sword +1 last time. +2 versus undead. And the doppelganger wasn't too happy about letting Emiliana have it, but She did, so just add that one. Sword plus 1 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And it's 1 lower against the undead. Cool. So we're trapped down here at the moment, unable to escape. And we're going to head into... well, I kind of presume if we've done 10, then 11 is probably the next most logical place that we'll go. So 11. And again, remembering that the torch only goes free, right? So we were here, more or less, we finished. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's in number 11? The floor here is covered with rubble, except for a large, poorly defined shape near the south wall. The area appears to be empty. There was a chest. So... yeah. So... check for traps. Level 1 of a dungeon, so we look at 7s or more. For the feat, see if there's any traps. 7. That means that she detects the trap. So they stand back, and we're going to utilize one of our options here to have a 10-foot pole. So we're going to hook the thing and open the trap with a 10-foot pole, and darts shoot out of it. So that's going to be 2 turns. So 1 to check for traps, 1 to get into the room. 2 turns of advancement. Otherwise, this area is empty. So, room 12, I suppose. Into room 12. What does room 12 do to us? Room 12. Construction. This room appears to be empty. We, of course, leave no room unturned. So we will turn the room. 1 turn advanced. 2 turns advanced. So we've searched this room, and indeed, the room is empty. Apart from this entrance out to the south. So, we'll head south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do we hear anything up ahead? No. And let's take all these dice out of here because we're gonna need a little rolling thing here. So 11, 12, 13. A long narrow passageway opens up into a rough-hewn chamber in the rock. 3 ugly humanoid, I don't know, maybe they're beautiful to each other. That's very presumptuous of us. 3 ugly humanoid figures with pale, earthy skin are near the far wall. So. Our 4 dudes. Our thingy. And where's my pens? There we are. Someone said the other day, your stories are captivating. I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't think they're captivating at all. I feel like you're spreading the messages for the clouds. But, you know, if they did think it was captivating, that's very nice of them. But I find it hard to believe, given that most of my stuff is just kind of like badly reading of the book material. Slowly, often. I'm not very good at this, but like I keep on saying, the reason I am streaming is far more to do with being able to maintain focus on the streaming, on the actual playing of the game, as opposed to what I'd do if I wasn't streaming, which is nothing. Oh, fiddlesticks, and I forgot to note down the gold that we got from the last room. Not much, but we'll note it down anyway. I haven't got obsidian open. So, and this goes this way, right? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Although Ahti's injured, so she's like, I don't want to go in the front. So they kind of, okay, well that sounds like it makes sense. In front, behind, mule, right? Oh, I did a little bit of painting on the mule. Isn't the mule great? Oh, and I should turn these this way so you can see their beautiful visage. Their beautiful visages. And the torch, of course, goes... well, she needs to have a torch, right? So, Antheia has a torch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, clearly see this area. Barely see over there. There's 3 of these, right? There you go, we'll use that one. I went out and had yakiniku today with a chummer of mine. So that was fun. What wall were they against? Northeast corner. Over here. Okay, so, where's this? Which one does first immediate reaction? The players. The players are like, what ho, strange fellows? What mayhaps bring you down here? With swords out, ready to go. And they go kind of thing, and turn these kind of horrible monstrosities. Look at the party, and the party's like, I suppose we are not going to be having delightful wine and tea together. Okay, the monsters move first. So one of them goes here, one of them goes here, and one of them goes here. Much to everybody's irritation, particularly hers. So, ranged attacks, none. Melee attacks. So, dice, Antheia, Emiliana, Tegen. Those are all missed, but I think these guys attack twice, right? There's a little list. Hit dice, AC, attacks. Oh no, they. Here it says attack once, but it's 1 to 3 and 1 to 3, so I think that's supposed to be attack twice. Just another incorrect number on there. So they all miss their first attacks. 14. No, that's a miss as well. Okay, cool. So now characters versus the beasties. Well, that's a hit. Oh, I also need to rub out the luck points from the last fight, from the last round, because as noted, luck doesn't carry over between the sessions. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to do this combat. I need to pop out for a moment. But yeah. Okay, so she got an 8. 8. No, 8 would hit an armor class. Armor class. And are they undead? Are ghouls undead? I think ghouls are undead, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are. Let's have a quick check. Referee's guide. Referee's guide. Ghouls A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Gnolls, gnomes. Gibbering ghoul. Yeah, they are undead. Okay, so that's actually +2. So she would hit a 7. They are armor class 6. So no, she still misses. So she's got a luck point. Emiliana has a luck point. Tegen has a luck point. And this dude has taken a wound. So they're 2 hit dice monsters. So just so that's that one. And I need to pop out before completing this. So I will be right back. Sorry. And we're back. Oh. And back. Fan-dabby dozy. Right, midway through the battle. Next round. Who goes first? Party goes first. No movements. No movements and just bring that back here, by the way. No movement and combat, I think. So these are both misses. 17 from Tegen is a hit. I should probably Tegen hits hers. She has a luck point and doesn't feel like taking another attack from the snarling monster, so she will use her luck point to do 2 wounds of damage and kill this. The other 2 missed, so that's a luck point for a luck point for Emiliana, who's not doing very well, and a luck point for Antheia, who, you know, managed to hit earlier, so they're doing not too bad. So, but what we have here is 2 misses. And another 2 misses. So, doing well, doing well. Luck is on our side. Next round. Monsters go first. Again, monsters going to stick with this. 14 against her might hit. So her armor class is 5. And Antheia armor class is 5. Yeah, this will probably hit. 2 against 5, looking for a 13. We got a 14, so that's a hit. And let's just see. Oh dear, that's another hit. And that 17 might be a hit as well. 17 hits an armor class 1, which I think leaves... Yeah, that's hit Emiliana, who has armor class 1. So the first, she takes 2d3 worth of damage. 6 points of damage. She doesn't have a luck point. No, she does. Well, that's lucky. She'll try and reduce damage by a d6 worth. Well, that's a 1, so that's 5. She only has 3 hit points, so she is on 0. And we roll that d6 death die. 0. 3. So she's in a coma for, and she needs to be healed, stabilized almost immediately. She's in a coma for 3 days. If we can get her out, that's gonna be a problem. Antheia, coma, 3 days. That's a problem. I'm starting to get a feeling of a wizardry group that I once played, where they were trapped in an anti-magic section of a dungeon, and I had to go rescue them. Right, what am I rolling for? Oh, yeah. D3 damage, so that's 3 points of damage again. Off of Emiliana, so she's down to 5. And she needs to make a paralysis save, which is going to suck. So she needs to roll over 13. And she rolls a 1. So she's paralysed. For how long? It's a good question. I'd have to go check. Oh, here we go. paralyzed for 2d4 turns. That's turns, yes, not rounds. So she's paralyzed for 6 turns. Okay, it's all going horribly wrong. Paralyzed 6 turns. Donk. Okay. So next round. Party goes first. Ahti is going to come into the fight. And so we've got Tegen. Oh, and this one's going to come into the fight. So we've got Tegen, and we've got Ahti. Well, the 17 from Tegen is a hit again, so good job. This one is the one that was over. Oh, right, so that's the one that was over here. So that one's actually dead now. So it's just the one that was in front of her. Ahti doesn't get luck points because she's dead. And then, yeah, this guy's attack on Ahti. It gets 2 attacks, so I may as well roll on both. One of them hits, so that takes her to 4 wounds worth of damage. So Ahti is dead. Right, what have we got? Okay, Ahti's dead. We're going to need to roll initiative. Evens, simultaneous attacks. So, okay, again. 15, that hits. Does a wound to monster. Emiliana and Tegen, and the monster attacking Tegen. Ah. 20, so it gets 1 hit. Oh dear. 1 hit, which does D3 damage. I'm perpetually impressed by bad guy rolls, eh? Down to 3. Tegen doesn't have any luck points. And Tegen needs to make a save versus paralysis. We can't even run away because we're trapped down here. This is what you can always retreat from a fight. And you're like, well, can you really? 5. So that's a failed roll. Oh dear. All the fighters are down. So, well, next round. 3, 4. So the players go first. So these two are going to run in and attempt to kill the fool. So they get to go first. So we go Somerhild and Naseefa. A 16 from, was that Somerhild? It is now. A 16 from Somerhild hits. So she does a wound worth of damage to it. Oh, go Somerhild, hero of the day. So who have we lost? Lost. Right, so they're going to have to, well, they've got a target number, I say, 12. Target number of 12 to see if they can staunch the bleeding of Antheia. And they don't. So Antheia has also died. Problems. So Antheia is dead. I quite liked Antheia. She was a really nice character. One more to the point, I think we picked a really nice card for her. Tegen is unconscious for 6 turns as well. So, and Ahti is dead, and she kind of dissolves into a weird blue goo because she's actually a doppelganger. Okay, so now we've got to wait those 6 turns, right? So now we've got this set up, right? We don't have any healing items because this, again, this will be my complaint about this. There's gold, no healing items, right? There was an opportunity to get one at one point. So whilst the combat dangerousness is low, it's really tight with scrolls and it's really tight with potions. I would add more scrolls and potions to this place, just because scrolls provides versatility, potions provide longevity. So, like, when on earth did Ahti turn into a doppelganger? Maybe she was always a doppelganger. Suffice to say, if we had that new fear mechanic that I was pondering, things would be looking pretty diabolical for the party right now. But obsidian, because we need to note down our winnings. Yes, they need to. So they've rested, we've rested what, 6 turns? Right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 turns rested. How many turns does that take us up to? Show turn count. 34. Calc. 34 divided by 6. 5.6. We've got 12 and a bit turns to go, right? And then we'll have to rest for the day. So. What are they? They're 3 hit dice. That's not going to go well. Okay. So what have we found? Obsidian. Sorry, I forgot. Obsidian. For people that live above my dungeon, just like jump up and down on the floor all the time. They walk around like elephants. I swear to you. I swear they are elephants. Actual elephants. So let's go to obsidian on here. Yeah, this. No? Yes, there we go. So the sword was useless because Emiliana can't hit the broadside of a bus. Antheia is dead. So that is 100 XP. Yeah. Legitimately, they just like leap up and down on their ceiling, and even with my headphones on, it's like doof, doof. Elephants, I tell you. And it's kind of distracting because everything shakes. Antheia's dead. Ahti is dead, so that's 100 experience points. If we make it out, unlikely at the moment. But in the previous room, we found in that chest, we found 100 gold pieces, 100 gold pieces. And we found 700 silver pieces. So that's 170 XP. So 170 XP. And then in this room, we found one sack containing 500 EP. There's a coin size we've not seen so far. 500 EP. 500 EP, was it? It was, right? 500 EP. I'm sure that's an E. Hold on, let me check closer, because if it's CP, then it's not worth taking. Let's see. One sack contains... I think it's EP. Because there'd be no point in giving me CP. Not 500 CP, that's like 5 experience points. You keep your 5 experience points. So that's in fact 1000 EP. So that's 500. Maybe they are silver pieces. Because they don't seem generous enough to give me 500 experience points. Oh, actually, sack. C. Okay, that is a C. Right, so that's another 1000 CP. No one cares. So that's 40 experience points. 396. Right, another 1000 CP. That's 10 experience points, right? I think 5. Yeah. Okay. So that takes us to 406 XP. So they're just leaping up and down up there. 406. And remember, there are 4 gems. Gems. We've got 2 100 gold pieces gems. And we've got 2 50 gold pieces gems. So this, in XP terms, is giving us, if we get it out of here, 340 experience points. 340 XP. Okay. Anything else in here? No. Itch my ear a second. So this means we've only got one room left to check, right? Number 8. So let's head up back to room number 8. See if we can escape this place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2. Room. Right, so that's 3, 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will listen at this door. Don't hear anything. So we open a room to door number 8. Storeroom. This room is empty. Hold on. If this room's empty, what was in 10? There are 4 berserkers, 3 are armed with short swords, 1 with a 1+1, with a 1+2. Okay. Rubble. In the chest there is 700 silver pieces and 100 gold pieces. I think we noted that down, right? Yeah. Then there's for the room that's empty. 12. Famous for cavern. Humanoid, exactly like hobgoblins, but aren't. Right. Okay, so 5. Room number 5. Where's the instructions for room number 5? Room number 5. The key to this room is located in either room 9, 10, 11, or 12. Oh right, whichever the characters search last. Okay, so we did find we found a key in 13, right? Even if it's otherwise empty. Any attempt to pick... Right. So we've got the key for this number 5, right? Oh dear, you've just got such rubbish spells. This is just going to go terribly. Okay. One thing to check. Yeah, it is going to go terribly because there's nothing that they can do. They can't turn it. Fine. This is going to be brief. So we open the entrance to 5. Hold on. So that was that's 1. What turn count are we on? Show turn counts. Okay, right. So we can go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That takes us to another turn, and then rest. So I think we've got like one more day, one more set of 6 that we can do, but we need to sleep. Right, 1, 2, into this room, room 5. Right, in here. The room appears to be empty except for an open cabinet. I just realised what I was covering my face with the whatchamacallit, this piece of paper that I'm reading from, like some kind of droog. So many things I need to do. We've got so many days available to us where I can run weird and unusual games. So I'll probably just be like popping up on stream. But the thing is, I need to come up with like a picture or else a thumbnail. Otherwise, it's just my face in the corner of like a random collection of stuff, which I suppose is fine. Anyway, The room appears to be empty. The shelves of the cabinet are heaped high with treasure, brilliant gems, and elaborate pieces of jewellery. 3 large sacks at the bottom of the shelf are overflowing with shiny coins. The cabinet and the area around it seem to be good. Right. What happens when we head over with great caution to the thingy full of gems? Okay. So, as they approach the chest, the first 2 in front, so that'll be Tegen and Emiliana, disappear, and the 2 wizards kind of presume, oh well, we've got no other choice, so they head through. What's this? Right, cool. We appear in a rectangular chamber that contains 10 stone sarcophagi, which are ornately carved. Each is about 7 feet long and 4 feet wide. There are no doors, windows, or other visible exits. A decorated circle is inscribed on the floor, where we are now stood. What else? Okay, hold on. Let me talk. Let me use my human words as opposed to trying to absorb what's going on here. Okay, so so when we move the first coffin, there's a flash of light. The floor within the inscribed circle glows a pale green for about 30 seconds, then fades back. We'll check to see if either of the wizards think anything of it. Midshire, Somerhild, and Naseefa. No, they don't think anything of it. They're not very bright. So we push open coffin 2, which contains 1,200 silver pieces. 1,200 silver pieces. Taking this to 2,500, but giving us 1,000 is 100 XP. 120 XP, right? 5 to 26. Fine. Okay, we open the next one. We're very careful when we open this. I think only. Okay, and we're surprised by the white that jumps out. Well, I say jump out. The white that immediately attacks us. So, I'm not going to bother drawing this room. But if we imagine, this is us. This is us. This is the white. Bad times are about to occur. Whites. I'm also pretty sure that no one can hurt it. Whites. White. Mundane damage immunity, only harmed by silver or magical weapons. Undead, make no noise. Energy drain. A successful hit permanently loses 1 experience level or hit die. Character XP reduced halfway between. A person drained of all levels becomes a white within 1d4 days. Under the control of a white that killed them. This is going to suck, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so it's going to attack her. Whites are 4 hit dice monsters, so a 3. It misses. Okay. Turn. It's a 5. Please, Emiliana. Please hit it. Emiliana's the only one who can hit it anyway. So... that's not a hit. It's going to attack Emiliana. It kills Emiliana. And... with that, it kills the rest of the party. Because Emiliana is the only one who has a sword of magical damage. That sucks, eh? That's that. Another party extinguished. What do I... so, I think... the party was kind of somewhat screwed early on because it failed to identify the doppelganger, and then they all got put to sleep by the mystics. Now, they couldn't even really have run away from the ghouls. But, that was unfortunate. Castle Caldwell has consumed a party. Now, the real problem, of course, is that this crypt now has 6 whites in it, so I've got no interest in attempting to clear out this crypt. Yeah. We don't know whatever happened for Mule. So that's that. Well, this is what happens sometimes. You know. It's the second party that I've wiped out, yeah, because the Dwaro Deep... well, the Dwaro Deep party at least managed to have a couple of people escape. The real bummer when you kind of run out of an entire party like this is that no one has any experience points, right? So you're going to start another party from scratch in a new locale. But anyway, well, that was Castle Caldwell, or what little of it we managed to experience. So the big question for me is what to play next. Let's shrink this. Camo. One thing I keep on wanting to do is a... so they would have got out if they'd have managed to get out, but they were never going to manage to get out. In fact, if I'm entirely honest, I don't believe this party could ever have defeated the whites. Even if everyone was there, because they just don't have the magic items, right? And they don't have the levels to fight a white. So I kind of think that whites were a poor choice of enemy at this stage, right? I'd have probably thought that the ghouls would have been a better final conflict for this level of party. I suppose, I mean, it could be different, I suppose, if I leveled the party up mid-dungeon, but I feel that's kind of a bit goofy. So if did we have enough experience here? Let's just do a quick calc, right? So, if we had the... Why is it not working? Why is my calendar broken? What? For goodness sakes. What on earth? Oh my word. Computer's going wild. Right, so if I take the experience that we got here, right, so 340 plus 80 plus 526 plus 200, so that's 1004 divided by what, it was 5 at the time. It's only 229 experience points. That wouldn't have been enough to get the characters up to level, any of the characters up to level 2. Because at level 2, the cleric would have had a chance of turning the whites, whereas at level 1, she didn't have any chance of turning the whites. So once again, whites have ruined everything. Yeah, and also because there's no magic items given up. Right, if they'd have given us a couple of scrolls, right? So, a magic missile scroll or a sleep scroll. In that room where we encountered the mystics, right? If I go back, if I turn the camera back on, so you can see which one I'm talking about. Not capture small, camo capture. In this room where we ran into the mystics, that room should have had some scrolls in it, right? Some just first level scrolls to give us some versatility. I think I'm also being screwed by not picking my starter spell, because again, these guys had nothing, right? They started off with ventriloquism and shield, which are pointless spells, useless spells. So that's something to bear in mind. But yeah, I think I'm going to move on from OSE for a little bit. But what to play instead, right? That's the question. If I go to the drive-through account. There's like a bunch. There's Morkborg. I'm thinking about like a fantasy game that's easier to run with like just 1 or 2 characters, right? So maybe a Rollmaster or a Rollmaster, or I've never played RuneQuest. Not RuneQuest. Is that what I'm talking about? Is that what I'm thinking about? RuneQuest? I think so. Because yeah, there's also Sacrifice, an Incense and Iron RPG, which is kind of a a Berserk style RPG, as in the anime / manga. Sorry, so I haven't read the manga. I've only watched the anime. So that might be interesting. What else have we got? Golgotha is something that I'd quite like to give a play of, which is kind of a science fiction-y OSR game, apparently. Erebus, probably a game that's something else I'd probably quite like to play. Where's this? Can I share? See, you've got to be careful with these PDFs because some of them have your details on them. This one doesn't. Okay, so let's share this screen a second. Adobe. Using you for Adobe. Yes. So I like the cover. I think the cover's cool. So setting. The end of the world began in the year 2280. Space-time itself tore apart across Earth, disgorging a vast alien army, endless in number and possessing technology beyond the scope of any human military. Invasion read out core rules. So, when a player makes an action roll, they roll 3d6, add the result of each die together, and compare the total to the target number. The target number represents the player's chance, blah blah, we all know what target numbers are. Failure, bad, success, good, critical success, very good. Okay, yeah, straightforward enough. What was that again? 3d6, add results together. Add the result, yeah, okay. Plus minus, ooh, fudge. Plus dice represent positive factors. Oh right, okay, so this is a bit like, I've seen this before. I don't think I've played a system properly that does it. So plus dice represent positive factors affecting an action roll. A favourable environment, something that I never got around to doing that I was supposed to do, which is do the one-page RPG thing. Maybe there's something in that for a fantasy game to play. Because I do like this idea of having, like, you know, a mechanic where you roll, and it's almost certainly because I've been thinking about a fear mechanic for ages, right? So, but the question really is, what is it going to be? A fun simulation, right? And that's the question: is, can it be a neat idea but be boring because it makes the game too difficult? Because something else that I'm interested in, and I've tried it a few times, is like a survival game. Anyway, this isn't the point. How do you make characters? So 10 levels. Character sheet? No. Right. Let's hide this a second. Let's have a look at some of the other games. Let's get rid of Obsidian. So I just fired up Obsidian to start writing down the cache, and we all died. That's something that I do want to play. Well, I don't want to play Robotech, but I want to play Macross. And I do have the Robotech RPG. So I got the Battletech, the Mech Warrior RPG, but it's just such a badly written book that I don't want to have to put myself through it, or you, for that matter. Something that is. If we're talking about like single player, there's Tiny Supers, which is a superhero game. That could be fun. But then I was just saying, right, if the party dies, and the party died, maybe the next thing we'll do is something from a slightly different angle. That brings me back to the idea of for one-page RPG. Oh. And we were talking about like weird little games that we might want to run. Or not even little games, weird games that we might want to run. So this is one game that I've got. Fit one full page, please do. Where is it? This one? No. This one? Yes. So this is Kamikakari. Maybe we'll put this in and see if we can just make a character, because I've never managed to make a character yet. But I like the style. unsurprising, being a bit of an anime geek, a consumer of the animes. This is quite a pretty book. You basically play a demon hunter for all intents and purposes. So that might be cool. Cordelia, but then Cordelia always makes me think of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So the other thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking about this is, but look at these character sheets, right? Pretty wild. This I feel is like the Night Wizard system, which I bought ages ago, but never done what I was intending on doing with it, which is learn Japanese. Oh yeah, it's all in Japanese, as that book is. This section reminds me of it is down here with the talents. But yeah, so that could be a possibility for Windmaster. Cool, so that's something that I've been thinking about. Let's just hide that again for a moment. Then there's the yeah, it's really just sitting down and kind of deciding what might be fun. So that's that. Upstairs they're still jumping up and down on the ceiling. Weirdos. There's also Battle Century G. Let's change this to 1 for 1. Now, for this one I think I've got to do... This is one of the books that has details at the bottom of it. So, Alt... No. Chrome. I think that's fine. Yeah, okay. So this is the other one, another interesting one, Battle Century G. I mean, it doesn't fit the fantasy thing, of course, but it's pretty interesting. I'm big into my mechs. It's a thing that I enjoy. So, yeah. Pew pew pew, space battleships. Because another thing that I keep on thinking about this a dark fantasy, kind of a black powder fantasy setting. But then, yeah, is there any point? I don't know. Oh, Twilight 2000 is something else I want to get started. And there's Vast Grim, Gemulator, Vampire the Masquerade, Delver, that's a magazine, isn't it? Blue Rose, Fabula Ultima TTRPG, so that's the TTJRPG, so that's the fantasy there. Yeah, figuring out what one would be good with only a single character would be quite... Well, Sacrifice is supposed to be, that's its whole thing. Maybe we will go down the Sacrifice route. Because I've got a few Sacrifice characters actually set up. Heroes Against the Darkness. What's that? I don't know. One of those weird, overly complicated... So, yeah, there's... The ones that kind of stand out for me at the moment are Sacrifice. But, of course, yeah, there's that idea of playing the monsters, right? Another thing that I'd probably be quite interested in getting into is Hammer and Stake. But I've also got Wicked Ones, but I think Wicked Ones is another Forged in the Dark game, and as noted, I don't think those work very well solo. I think there's too much tied into the negotiation of the circumstances for it to properly work. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to have a think about what to do about that. One thing that I was always upset about is that I got a really nice looking game about kind of the War of the Rose, but then I found out the person that wrote it was a bit of a Nazi, so I'm not playing that. Kind of annoying. So maybe Tiny Cthulhu. That could be a thing. Anyway, Wolves of God. So that was a game. So So I also have this problem. I got a real problem playing games with a lot of God in them, right? So I would much rather play the pagans than I would the God people. So there's Wolves of the Dark, Pendragon, and Ars Magica, which all lean, as far as I'm concerned, way too much into the God being real. Which even when you look at it, it's like, well, what about the other ones? Well, I mean, right. So Wolves of God seems very good, except it just leans too hard into the God thing. Wonder Home, Hardwired Island. That's another game I want to give a play. Another thing I want to do is kind of like really mix together. What's it called? Cyber Generation and Cyberpunk again to play like a younger character, because I think that's cool. It's cool. Lots of stuff for Heart and Spire, which, yeah, they're cool, but not really me. Death in Space, and we're doing a lot of Star Trek, so I think Star Trek will probably have like a whole bunch of our desire to play space stuff. Actually, one thing I am interested by for Tallgrass, is kind of a solar punk setting. Would probably be, and this has got card mechanics. What's going on here? A gentle breeze washes over the meadow, causing ripples on its green uniform surface. Few things disrupt its path. A smattering of houses on the horizon, all huddled together as if to ward off evil. A solitary windmill, the rusty remnants of a past not many know about anymore. Tallgrass is a role-playing game set in a post-apocalyptic world where enough time has passed for the environment to heal and grow back, often swallowing relics from past civilizations in its wake. Nature has created a landscape of very few towns and many sparse rural settlements in the middle of seemingly endless green. Also, something magical is buried underneath it all. Few have any idea what it is. Some fear it. Many are indifferent, and just keep going on. Humanity is in the process of finding its footing again. Yet people have never stopped changing. Evolving, mutation, and transhumanism have reshaped their every little facet time after time, setting much broader standards for what's considered human and encompassing the new personal experiences to be found in this society. Touchstones. Humanity has declined. That's quite a good anime. Avery Works, Studio Ghibli, the scenery of a pastoral area. Simon Stalhag art. The system prompts book. A word of advice. This could be fun to have a little play around with. As I said, I've got a whole bunch of like weird little games. We're going to do some Flotsam Adrift Among the Stars as well, so that's an interesting little game. So there's a whole movement and a system built around kind of inclusive games, which is branched off, more inclusive games, which is branched off of the mainstream of PBTA, and these are kind of generally written and created by marginalised people. So very interesting stuff. Big into it. Love it. Love it a lot. Oh, and don't worry, I don't smoke. Not anymore, anyway. This is for lighting incense sticks. In case you were wondering. Because yeah, I really like games that explore anarchist concepts, right? So interesting. Achtung Cthulhu shooting Nazis. On shooting Nazis, actually, when we talk about shooting Nazis, good idea. Always up for it. But more importantly, oh yeah, we've got something scheduled in for either doing Operation White Box or Modern War 44. When's that? When is that gonna be? Let me check my what's it called? You know, the thing that you check. Let's check my setup, YouTube Studio. So if I check my YouTube Studio content, live. So what have I got currently penciled in? So tomorrow I'm doing Star Trek for the evening. I've got the Cyberpunk Night City Shuffle to do at some point in the next few days. So I think I'll just like run that if I'm bored one evening. Urban Shadows, Lancer. So in Lancer, how to scatter sunspots. I get all my art from Adobe stock art because I can't draw, right? Or Etsy, right? So I can't draw. So I am gonna be doing it. But the Lancer cover I really like. I thought when I saw that picture on Adobe, and I hope it's not generative AI, because I click the exclude generative AI button and it doesn't look like it is, but it reminds me of the chap that does Biomega, and I love that dude's arts, and Biomega Knights of Sidonia. Very cool. Sidonia no Kishi. Very cool. So I like those. Modern War. So that's Lancer is August 29th. So that is Tuesday. So I'm on holiday until Wednesday. So hopefully I'm going to get like at least 2 sessions in most days. I mean, I almost didn't run this session because I wasn't looking forward to what I was feeling was going to happen, which was kind of a reasonably quick slaughter, and it did happen. But I got here and I did it because it needed to happen, otherwise I was going to not do it. So that's cool. But yeah, Lancer is on the 29th in the morning or the afternoon. So we got Lancer and Modern War 44. So Modern War 44, the Modern War system uses the Traveller system for all intents and purposes. We've got Flotsam, Adrift Among the Stars, so that is 28th, so that's tomorrow afternoon. Later on tonight we're going to do a Star Trek Captain's Log interlude, where I'm going to do some thinking and we'll do some kind of takeaways from the last session, my thinking on it, how I think the next session might be a bit better. And then we'll be playing that on Monday. So this leaves me at least 2 slots for games on Wednesday. One I suspect will be Star Trek, because I'm really into Star Trek. And the other one might be Cyberpunk. So yeah, the Modern War 44. I'll roll up a character beforehand. or I might swap for Modern War 44 to OWB, so Operation White Box. So that's a kind of retro clone game. So yeah. Anyway, other games that I've got laying around. There's Neon Blood, which is a if I open this up, oh, that's not as extensive as I was expecting it to be. Okay. So this is, what's this? So let's just click on this again. So Neon Blood is a retro clone style cyberpunk game. But then maybe I'll just play Cyborg, right? That could be fun. But the thing for me is that when it comes to cyberpunk, I'm interested in like three things, right? I'm interested in cyberware. I'm interested in smashing the corporation's faces in. And being cool, right? As a thoroughly uncool person, right? Cyberpunk games are one opportunity to, like, you know, play someone who's cool. Someone who's like, smash, fash, beat the system, off we go, right? So I don't know if this again is a cyberpunk game that doesn't have good cyberware or good kind of like fashion options for me misses the point. I got my CyberGen books out. I don't think I do. I think my CyberGen books are still buried in a cupboard somewhere, which is unfortunate. But Neon Blood might be interesting. Heroes Unlimited. I did kind of feel like doing a superhero game, particularly because I had this entire kind of super quiz versus the patriarchy idea as like a campaign. But I'm too scared to run it with real people. So the entire idea being that the super individuals that you're playing are non-conforming. Because if you look at something like the Avengers, because I was thinking about it beforehand, but I was watching an episode of Propaganda on, you know, how the Avengers are just, you know, cops for all intents and purposes, and how they have always like kind of maintained the status quo, right? They're never really looking to change the system. So that's interesting. Fading Suns is another game I'm really interested in running. I'm interested in running so many games. This is why I do this, right? This is why, you know, I've decided to do the whole streaming it, so I do play some of these games. Because I love it. I love role-playing games. Sufficiently Advanced is another game that's very interesting. Sufficiently Advanced is actually really interesting, particularly for the second edition, because they've gotten rid of all of the dice mechanics, right? So that's interesting. That's a really interesting idea. I think that's pretty bold. I think that's really, particularly for a game which isn't solo. I think being bold enough to go, do you know what? We're getting rid of the dice. That's bold. That's a bold decision. Sufficiently Advanced, yeah. So this, yeah, and let's change it to one page for one page. So yeah, it's the problem I've always had with Sufficiently Advanced is figuring out what to do with it. it's really interesting. But it's kind of when your characters can be almost like demigods, right, in power scale. What do we do to make it interesting? And that's always my thinking when it comes to sufficiently advanced, which actually means it may be a really good game to solo play because of the oracles will drive us and allow us to explore the play space of sufficiently advanced. So this may actually be a really good game to play. I would, however, have to read the instructions. And as you all already know, the problem I have with procrastination is second to none. And there is a lot. I'd like a version of it which was like, here's the condensed version. I'd like any game to be like, to be sub 20 pages. That'd be good. If you could just fit everything into, if you can fit all the rules into like 2 pages, and like the main fluff into 20 pages, will be great. Otherwise, problems. Modern. Let's look at modern war, right? Because I really should have just wrapped up, right, and closed down so that the video was short and people could oh look, it's only an hour-long video. I can click down and watch that. Then be really disappointed because they realise that they've come in at like the extermination moment for a party. So this is the master game for the 1944 game, for the World War II game. So the main game is, of course, like all-on hoorah military game, but that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in stuff. I'm interested in shooting Nazis. That's what I'm into, man. But what we've got is Fortress Europe. I'm just trying to pick the right part of it. That one? Yeah. So this gives us World War II stuff, and then I've got a whole bunch of stuff from Operation White Box. So we will probably, where is it? I put it away. Put one of the books away. I've just spun all the way around. Oh, here it is. Along with this is how much of an old timer. There we go. Shana. We miss Shana. Miss her a lot. Good times. So we've got the Allied mission book. So this includes a bunch of wee missions. Kind of starting off with Norway and then moving forward. The other thing to do is some Shadowrun. Not Shadowrun. Ugh, that's a horrible idea. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Not Shadowrun. So I like my cyberpunk to be, you know, the cyberpunk, not the other stuff. I'm always really disappointed that the BattleTech game is so bad, because the board game's really good, but the role-playing game is just whoo. I sat down and my friend looked at it, because we looked at, what did we look at? We looked at 2 games on the same day, and one of them was werewolf. No, it was vampire. Vampire, was it werewolf? And vampire is quite straightforward for making your character, right? It's got a page, here are the instructions, here's the next step, here's the next step, here's the next step, and you can kind of flow from one point to the next. Whereas Mech Warrior, right, that ain't the one at all. Fuck, not for one. I got a bunch of Christmas campaigns. We can. Oh god, I got some really weird stuff. Yeah, there's some really weird solo RPG systems that are really extensive and have a lot of pictures in. Another thing that I quite like is Hostile. So Hostile is like Alien in space. They have their own solo system. Solo Zofa. This is the Naseefa system, so the modern war games as well that you just saw part of this. Fit one full page. What's this talking about then? Yeah. Well, that's interesting. A slightly smaller sheet. I like life trees. We'll have a look. We'll have a see. We'll have a see how that goes. And then Mothership. There's a game. There's a game I never got into as much as I probably thought I would. Quill. Sprawl. PBTA games. That could be a thing to think about. Like Sprawl. Alien. Yeah, there's a game. Cthulhu Confidential. So this is the legit solo play. Is this Trail of Cthulhu? Yeah, this is Trail of Cthulhu. Pelgrane Press. So that's something to think about. I really liked Trail of Cthulhu. Slay Industries. Ooh, now there's a game which is cyberpunk but not cyberpunk, right? And it's definitely a game which oozes cool. Machines of War Corporation. That had quite good. I'm pretty sure it had pretty good cyberware rules. Spire Cities. But again, it's pretty long. Cybernetics. Like, it doesn't have bookmarks. I don't believe in books that don't have bookmarks. And of course, another game that I think about a lot, Mechton. So Chin is a game. It's quite interesting. With Remnants, that's another interesting one. But yeah. Oh wow, I've got a lot of modern floor plans. What's this? Ooh. Yes, I like the fact they didn't bother putting it into one single pane so that you could just see it all. That's quite cool. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I'll let you go, and I'm gonna roll on, and I'll be back this evening to talk about Star Trek. Cool. You have fun now, people. Don't be too wild. Bye.